So I feel like so I've seen those studies, and I know a lot of it is because women for the longest time didn't have the opportunity to work, and so now that
Hmm.
they do, they really don't want anything in their way. Um, but I also think that men are so like insecure about being like a housewife or like a house husband that if the wife does make more money, like as a generalization, if the wife does make more money, then they're not having it. Like they'd rather not be in the relationship than be the house husband. But the other way, like, which it kind of explains why women that are rich don't have a partner because no man wants to make less than their wife. But the other way around, like women are, for the most part, like women have been okay with being a housewife. There's like
Hmm.
jokes about it on TikTok. They're like, yeah, practicing to be a housewife, you know?
Hmm.
And so, like, I think that being able to turn it off and on isn't like the reason that they're single. I think the reason that they're single is because if they do make more money, they're either so focused on it they don't care about a man, or they haven't found a man that's so secure about his masculinity that he doesn't care that he's like not making as much money, basically.
Okay. All right, Lena, do you only want to respond?
Yeah, and this is kind of a combination of what you two said. So, Will, you said that when a guy is ambitious, a go-getter, and he has the masculine energy, right? He doesn't want that same thing necessarily. Kind of like opposites attract. Like he wants somewhere where he could be vulnerable, right? So obviously, he's not gonna match up with someone who's also like masculine energy and
Yeah.
ambitious. That
Yeah.
like, or at least doesn't know how to turn it off. If they both don't know how to kind of switch that off, then they won't work out. Then in general, the people that do make more money and have a better career, career oriented, are those masculine energy people, correct? So when you have a female up here, she's probably prone to have more masculine energy because she's making more money. But then she also in her mind knows that she like society kind of gives like your rank based on your job. So she thinks that, okay, this is my rank because I make six figures. So I either need a man equal to me or above, right? I feel like a lot of women, that's how they think. And she's not going to find anyone that complements her in that criteria. So,
Hmm.
like, when you have a woman that does, like, say, a job that's like a teacher or something like that, and her pay is here, and so she's looking for some guy above that. Her job kind of nurtures feminine energy. She's can easily find anyone with masculine energy to complement her, but a female that's masculine will not generally won't find a feminine type guy making
Of
more than
course.
her.
Yes.
And so I think that's where the issue is. So she either has to settle for either someone that's masculine and makes less than her, and that's probably going to create a rise of insecurity and toxicity in the relationship. She's going to feel like she's better than him because she makes more. He's going to feel insecure because he makes less, blah, blah. Or she lives her best life single. And so I think, in addition to that study, compare the happiness levels of those people. And I think probably those rich single women are probably the happiest females out there
But you know why men don't choose to be housewives?
Because they're judged for it.
No, because they know no woman will want them. Most women will want a provider protector. Like, let me ask you guys. Let me ask you both of you right now. Would you want your man to stay home and you be working 24/7?
I would
Be
love that.
honest. Be honest. Okay, Lena. What about you,
I
Anikka?
I would love that. Yeah, personally, like I find a lot of like most of my like our arguments are they literally come from him not wanting to help me or like not being able to like clean because I'm like I feel like I do it all, right? Like I feel like I literally do it all. And so when he offers to clean, I'm like, "Oh my God, I've never been so attracted to in my entire life." Like, "Oh my God, you're actually putting away the dishes. Like this is the best thing ever. Like please do this all the time." Like if you could literally do that, that would be the best
Okay.
thing. I
So
feel
is
like working is
so
easier than taking care of kids.
so you like if you so you be okay if your guy stayed at home and take care of the kids and you work for the rest of your life, both of you.
Yeah, I mean,
Be like you have the burden of financial to paying all the bills. That's all that rests upon your shoulders, and that's your responsibility for the rest of your life. And he just stays home and takes care of the kids. He has no responsibility towards the finances. You're gonna carry that. You okay with that?
I mean, I feel like it's honestly easier because kids have to, like, all the husband has to do is go and
And don't
just
forget,
like
you're still gonna have kids, right? You're still gonna have to go into 9 months of labor.
think about, I mean this is just me. I could not imagine with like kids, but or with my mom, but she would work because she felt like she needed to be independent if anything happened, right? So she was still working, and then she was taking care of us, doing our laundry, cleaning our house, like doing all this. And then my dad would come home and be like, hey, I'm not really hungry right now. I would lose it. I would absolutely lose it. But as a female, I think if you're working, like let's just say you're like Leena and you're an engineer, so you've got that masculine energy, whatever, and you're working, you're making that moolah, and then you come home, I feel like you have that extra appreciation because of that feminine side, because of that nurturing, caring side. They see, like, I would come home from work and I would see that on the table and I'd be like, wow, thank you. You know what I mean? Like, I think working is a lot easier than like having to take care of.
So you would. I mean, it's like if there was a guy, so you'd be okay with the guy staying home and then you work for the rest of your life. You'd be okay with that?
As long as he was like actually contributing to the family, yeah. But if he was like sitting on his butt, then no.
No, like no, he just not. He's gonna fulfill the nurturing and caring role. So he's gonna stay home with the kids, fulfill all the house duties. But you're gonna be the one taking care of all the finances, put the financial support. You're gonna be good.
I mean, yeah.
Okay, Leena, you the same way.
Okay, so I have to say something on that. I mean, obviously, I would be okay with it, obviously, because I do work. I mean, I work full time. So if I do have a kid and I know, like, I'd much rather have my husband take care of the kids than hire a nanny or something like that. So obviously, like, I'd be okay with that if I could continue working and he wanted me to continue working and he wanted to take care of the kids. Like, I have no problem with that, obviously. But like you said, but the biological differences, I feel like it would create a lot of arguments, right? Because it would take a long time for him to learn how to do things right. Women have that intuition, right? Like she was saying about the berries, women kind of have that intuition. Me, and I've experienced this myself. I have sisters with kids, less than 1 years old, and it's kind of weird. Like I see this baby crying, and I just kind of know, like, oh, it needs its diaper changed, or it needs to be fed. Like we kind of know by the way it's crying what it kind of needs, and then I see the kid's father, the way that he acts around it, and it cries. He carries it like it's an alien. He's like, I don't know what this thing wants.
Yeah.
So I think that's the issue. I think like that's kind of the problem, is that they don't really know what to do, and so that leads to the female being frustrated because it's so easy to us. It's like, well,
But that's yeah.
and
Yep.
so just change the diaper, just do this. And so I think that's the problem, is that that's what leads to that divide of, okay, well, now the guy feels insecure, he feels like he can't do anything, and the girl feels like she's doing everything because she's working, and then she comes home and then she basically has to teach him everything. But I think like if they could get past that rough patch of, that's probably a couple years, 1, 2, 3 years, and they still keep at it, I think then they get a really sweet zone of, they, although it's not their social norm, but they know their roles now. And if it's equal, I mean, it's perfectly fine if it's completely switched. The woman's working, the guy is doing it, takes care of the kids and knows how to make food, like whatever, like that's perfectly fine. And I think that's, technology has allowed us to realize that that is okay now. Like women can have success without needing biological strength. Sorry.
No.
I'm an engineer and I don't need to lift anything more than 2 pounds,
Yeah.
So I think now in today's time, it's perfectly normal for it to be switched, just as long as you're willing to work harder for it to work. Did that make sense? I said work a lot in that sentence.
Let me ask you both this question, and be honest. If you have two men, right? If you have two men, and both of these men are equal, and like this is everything you want for in a man. This is the perfect man. This is the perfect man, right? Everything you want in a man. There's only two differences between them. One wants to be a provider protector, and if you're with this guy, you don't have to work a day in your life. He got you. He's a provider protector. You don't have to work a day in your life. You're taking care of him. He just wants you to be, the one to take care of the kids. The other one is the guy that can take he's gonna take care of the kids, but you're the one that have to work. You have to work. So that's the two options you have. One guy, they're both equal. Everything's equal. One guy is a provider protector. You don't have to worry about bills for the rest of your life. He got that. He's gonna take care of that for you. You just want to stay at home. Or the other guy where you have to, he's gonna stay home, but then you have to go out there and figure out how to take care of the finances. How I want to ask you guys to be honest. Which guy do you pick?
I say for me again, and it's because of my career. Um, especially in our culture.
Go ahead.
Sorry. In our culture and Arab culture in general, it's very, very common for women to get married straight out of high school. It's like high school is like the set stone, and then like you start looking for a guy, and it's like you get set up with some guy that's a doctor somewhere. You don't even know who he is, but you know he has money. Like that's, I mean, I hate it, but it's really, really common in our culture. And it's like by the time you're like 22, 23, you're like old and expired. And then even I remember I'm continuing school, so I'm doing my PhD now. And I remember when I told some of my cousins that, they were like, how are you going to find a husband?
Yeah.
And so I think that your question speaks directly to me, is that I'd much rather be a provider if I get to have my education and the job that I want. Like if a guy wants to cook and clean,
No, so the guy that's the private protector, you can go to school as long as you can figure out how to take care of the babies. So you can still do online classes, you can still get your degree, but all he wants is he doesn't want the responsibility of raising the kids. He just wants you at home. But if you want to go to school, go and take online classes, get your degree, be an engineer. But as long as he doesn't have to fulfill the raising the kids, he can do that. But you can you can still do all that stuff. But as long as you take care of the kids, would you still pick that guy?
No, I have my oldest sister kind of went that path. She got married at 19. And I mean, she still finished she had kids like right away. She had her first kid at 20. She has 4 kids now and a kid on the way. She's 30 years old now. So she lived that role. And he's a doctor. He told her, you know, I will pay for your school. I'll pay for everything, do everything online, do whatever you want. And I feel like she has a little bit missing. You know, sometimes she says, I wish I finished school first before I had kids. And so I kind of seen that firsthand. But she's more than happy in her life. She loves her life. But obviously there's always like that, what if? And so I think since I've seen that, I personally, that's not the life that I would want. I'm more logical, like Anikka said before. I value like that education and learning, especially because my mom never got the opportunity to go to college. So I value that much more than, and this sounds so messed up to say, but I value that more than a child right now in my life. At this point in my life, I value that education and that job more than having a kid.
Do you want to have kids and a husband one day?
I really want to adopt. I really don't want to have my own kids because I'm so scared of having kids.
What about husband?
A husband, I mean, I would highly not, wait, I don't know how to say this. English is not working. I would not like to raise a kid without a husband.
So you want to, so you do want a husband one day.
So I definitely would like a partner, a husband to help me raise a kid. Would not want to raise a kid on my own.
Oh, but you do want kids, right? You do want to have your own kids.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I really do enjoy kids, but I mean, obviously it's so much responsibility, and as someone that already has a job, it's scary because, like I said, you do see the women that have such a good position get pregnant, and suddenly they can't hold it together, and so they have to go with what society tells them they're meant for, raising kids, and they lose that position. So I mean, obviously I'm only 22, so it might be a maturity thing. Maybe when I'm 25, 26, 27, I'm going to be like, oh yeah, kids are cool. You know, this job doesn't mean anything. But right now where I'm in life, I'd much rather keep my career